This Tuesday night. The calendar does say April 9th, but there is a major blizzard bearing down on several states tonight. In fact, the airlines are already offering travel waivers, a huge part of this country bracing for this blizzard in the coming hours. Winter storm alerts from Colorado across to Michigan. Look at the map tonight. 6 states under blizzard warnings as this storm emerges from the Rockies with heavy snow, bringing treacherous driving as it now moves across the country. So let's get right back to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, back with us again tonight, tracking it all. Hey, Ginger.
Hey there, David. The National Weather Service of the Twin Cities put out a bulletin today saying this storm could make history. This after the Twin Cities had their biggest April snowstorm just last year with 15.8 inches. We could see numbers like that again, not just in Minnesota, but let me take you to the map. You see all of the warnings from Colorado through Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota. That's the heart of the storm. I'll time it out for you. Most of it wraps up tomorrow in the Rockies and then starts to go into the plains and northern Great Lakes Wednesday through Thursday. And it's really Thursday through Friday that it hits kind of northern Minnesota and Wisconsin. Timing-wise, it again is midweek through late week, and we're going to see 6 to 18 inches of snow widespread, but that's not it. 55 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, David.
On a dark and dreary evening in New York City, no less. Ginger Z tracking this storm for us. Ginger, thank you. Meantime, here in New York City tonight, authorities have declared a public health emergency amid this alarming spike in the number of measles cases. Some families, in fact, with this emergency could now face fines of up to $1,000. So why are so many communities across this country suddenly facing a measles scare? Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef tonight.
Tonight, a public health emergency in New York City after that rapid spike in cases of the measles.
We have a situation now where children are in danger.
Officials mandating vaccines and issuing fines up to $1,000 for anyone who doesn't comply. Drastic measures to curb a dangerous virus, now surging at near record levels, 465 cases in 19 states. Measles hotspots across the country, from Washington State, where they've handed out free vaccines, to areas of Michigan where some schools have told unvaccinated students to stay home. Most cases in New York clustered in an ultra-Orthodox Jewish neighborhood where vaccination rates are low.
We've worked closely with the community, religious leaders, and schools to make sure that vulnerable people are kept safe during this outbreak and to challenge the dangerous misinformation that is being spread by a group of anti-vaxxers.
David, experts say the measles is one of the most contagious diseases. So far here in New York, 21 people have been hospitalized, 5 in intensive care. David?
All right, Ariel, thanks to you on this again tonight. In the meantime, we're going to turn next this evening to new and chilling 911 calls just released tonight after a young student collapsed and died. Authorities say she collapsed after drinking alcohol at an off-campus fraternity party and what she said to her boyfriend just beforehand. ABC's Victor Akendo tonight on the many questions and the new concern about drinking and young people.
Tonight, authorities trying to determine why 20-year-old college student Caroline Smith collapsed and died at an off-campus party in South Carolina.
I need an EMT. I think this girl is dying. She just fell and hit her head.
Officials just releasing the desperate 911 call from Friday night.
Is she awake?
No, she's not awake. She's unconscious.
According to the police report, Smith was with her boyfriend. She told him she was not feeling well, and moments later, she fell to the ground and was unresponsive. Smith's brother was also at the party and told police she'd been drinking but not using drugs.
Is she breathing?
I don't think so. Her chest isn't moving.
When paramedics arrived, she was laying on her back outside, pronounced dead minutes later. The sophomore from Furman University, seen here in a recruitment video, was VP of membership for the Kappa Delta sorority. A memorial is planned for her next week. David, an autopsy has been performed, but the cause of death still pending further analysis. According to the coroner, the results could take weeks. David?
Victor Akendo tonight. Thank you, Victor. And now to the grilling on Capitol Hill today. Attorney General William Barr answering questions. When will he make the Mueller report public, and how much of it will the American public actually see? Barr standing firm on issuing only a redacted version, and what Barr said today about his offer to Robert Mueller to see that first 4-page summary from Barr. Mueller declined to review it. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce tonight.
Arriving on Capitol Hill today, Attorney General Bill Barr for the first time facing off with lawmakers about his handling of the Mueller report, promising there's more to come soon.
Within a week, I will be in a position to release the report to the public.
But Barr refused to say whether he's briefed the White House in the 2 weeks since the special counsel handed in his report.
Has the White House seen it since then?
I've said what I'm going to say about the report today.
Barr says he won't be releasing the full report Democrats are demanding. There will be redactions with color-coded explanations. Today, the Attorney General defended his decision to release his own 4-page letter on the conclusions, even though the Mueller team reportedly prepared their own summaries.
I was not interested in putting out summaries or trying to summarize, because I think any summary, regardless of who prepares it, not only runs the risk of being under-inclusive or over-inclusive, but also, would trigger a lot of discussion.
But Barr's letter did spark intense scrutiny. Mueller's report did not weigh in on whether the president obstructed justice, but Barr's letter determined he had not. Today, the Attorney General was pressed on whether he ran that by the special counsel.
No, I didn't think about it.
Why not?
Because it was my letter.
His letter. Mary Bruce live on the Hill tonight. Mary, the Attorney General says he will only release, as I mentioned before, a redacted version of the Mueller report. As you know, Democrats tonight telling you and the team there on the Hill that that's not enough?
Yeah, David, well, Barr is promising to be transparent, even color-coding that redacted information so the public can see why it is being withheld. But that is not going to satisfy Democrats I've talked with here. They are still demanding the full report and the underlying evidence. And, David, they are willing to subpoena to get it.
Mary Bruce live on the Hill tonight. Mary, thank you. Meantime, our correspondent John Carl asking President Trump today about the firings at the Department of Homeland Security and asking the president whether he plans to separate parents and children at the border again. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Carl.
With talk of more people yet to be fired, the president today denied he was conducting a purge of the leadership at the Department of Homeland Security.
I never said I'm cleaning house. I don't know who came up with that expression. We have a lot of great people over there.
But in just the past few days, he's fired the DHS secretary, removed the director of the Secret Service, and pulled his own nominee to run the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency.
We want to go in a tougher direction.
And there have been multiple reports the president has talked about bringing back the policy of separating migrant children from their families at the border. At first, he didn't seem to want to talk about that.
Are you considering child separations again? Can you rule that out, Mr. President?
Mr. President.
You wouldn't start separating the children again, would you, Mr. President?
Obama separated the children, by the way.
Would you consider doing it
Just so
again?
you understand, I'm the one that stopped it. President Obama had child separation. Now, I'll tell you something. Once you don't have it, that's why you see many more people coming. They're coming like it's a picnic, because let's go to Disneyland.
In fact, unlike President Trump, President Obama never had a blanket policy of separating children from their parents. Under Obama, there were separations, but they occurred when the adults were tied to more serious crimes like drug trafficking or previous deportations. After repeated questions, the president said he did not want to reinstate his family separation policy.
We're not looking to do that, no.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're not looking to bring
But
it back?
it brings a lot more people to the border. When you don't do it, it brings a lot more people to the border.
All right, let's get to John Carl live at the White House tonight. And John, President Trump insists he's not cleaning house at the Department of Homeland Security, but tonight nearly half the people in the top jobs there are serving on an acting basis.
In fact, David, I am told to expect more departures in the coming days. The bottom line is the White House does not believe the senior leadership at the Department of Homeland Security has been aggressive enough in implementing the president's policies to control the border. But this is a vast agency with a vital mission. Republican Ron Johnson is the chairman of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, and he is one of those who has expressed concerns about what he called a growing leadership void within the department tasked with addressing one of some of the most significant problems facing the nation. David?
John Carl tonight. John, thank you. We're going to turn next year to the sweeping crackdown on Medicare abuse tonight. What authorities say was a scheme to sell orthopedic braces to seniors who didn't need them, costing American taxpayers nearly $1 billion. Federal agents arresting 24 people across the country. The scheme allegedly involved telemarketers offering braces free to seniors and then billing Medicare for them. Doctors, medical equipment companies, and call center companies allegedly sharing in those kickbacks. In Uganda tonight, as that American woman, the tourist held hostage, now prepares to return home. Police are now telling ABC News they have made 8 arrests in connection with the kidnapping of Kimberly Endicott. A spokesperson says now that the 2 hostages are safe, they can be more aggressive in pursuing those who were involved. Meantime, the Pentagon tonight has yet to identify the 3 U.S. service members who were killed in Afghanistan. But the New York City Fire Department has now revealed that one of their own was, in fact, among the U.S. service members killed. Marine Reserve Staff Sergeant Christopher Slutman leaves behind a wife and 3 daughters. And as you're about to see right here tonight, he was already a hero before making the ultimate sacrifice. Tonight, one of the faces, a fallen hero. Staff Sergeant Christopher Slutman, a U.S. Marine, husband and father of 3 little girls. His wife, Shannon, he was just 43. He was among 3 Americans killed in that roadside bomb, the Taliban claiming responsibility. What we did not know was what Chris did before going overseas. A 15-year member of the New York City Fire Department, he rescued an unconscious woman trapped inside a burning high-rise, and he was honored for it.
For his act of bravery, we award firefighter Christopher Slutman the Fire Chiefs Association Memorial Medal. Tower ladder 17, engine 16.
Tonight, honored again for serving his country. His fellow firefighters remembering a Marine, a firefighter, a father. And of course, we salute him as well. We turn to other news tonight and to Israel at this hour where parliamentary elections tonight are too close to call. Benjamin Netanyahu battling for a 5th term as prime minister, declaring victory tonight, but so is his opponent, former military leader Benny Gantz. President Trump has embraced Netanyahu in recent days, inviting him to the White House just 2 weeks ago to help him win re-election. As this new storm sweeps across the country with blizzard conditions and damaging winds, tonight there's new surveillance just now emerging of the last windstorm in Seattle and the remarkable moment a couple survives a utility pole smashing through their car, trapped by live wires. And here's ABC's Clayton Sandell.
A dangerous domino effect seen in new video tonight of more than 24 power poles crashing down, one striking a direct hit on Tom and Linda Cook's car.
Right after the flash, I saw the pole start falling to the ground, and I thought, wow, I guess we'll have to find another way out.
The Cooks were trapped, escaping with scrapes and bruises, but very lucky to be alive.
I started to open the door, and I heard someone say, that's not a good idea because those wires might be live. And I said, okay, I'll stay right here.
This person on a bicycle narrowly missed getting hit by another pole, one of 26 that came crashing down Friday near Seattle.
It was so surreal, and then it was one after another after another.
The downed pole spanned a mile of roadway, knocking out power to thousands.
The utility company says those poles were inspected back in 2016 and were not considered a safety hazard. The utility says it's hired an independent investigator to figure out what happened. David.
Clayton Sandell with us tonight. Thank you, Clayton. 1 week, the index of other news, and to the CDC warning tonight about a dangerous drug-resistant superbug. It's called Candida auris and has sickened nearly 600 people in the U.S., nearly half the patients dying within 90 days. It attacks people with already weakened immune systems. Some hospitals are using special cleaning equipment for floors, walls, and ceiling tiles. We'll stay on it. News about vitamins tonight. A new and controversial study finding no connection between vitamin and mineral supplements and living a healthier life. Researchers say crucial vitamins and minerals only help lower the risk of heart disease and stroke when they come from foods and not supplements. We have more on our website. And the last of the Doolittle Raiders has died. Retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Richard Cole served as Commander Jimmy Doolittle's co-pilot, leading the daring bombing raid of Japan after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Richard Cole was 103. When we come to history before it's even out, Paula Ferris with the Avengers.
Where's the Avengers? We gotta finish this.
With the finish line in sight tonight, Forbes is estimating that Avengers Endgame could soar to a $900 million box office opening, making it the highest grossing opening weekend of all time.
You trust me? I do.
The film from Marvel Studios, a division of ABC's parent company Disney, is already smashing records. It is Fandango's biggest pre-sale ever, and it crashed AMC's ticket app.
I like this one.
And the all-star cast told us they think the audience will like it too. People are sleeping outside. They're paying thousands to buy a ticket.
$15,000, I heard.
Isn't that crazy?
$15,000. Crazy.
Do you think this movie is going to live up to the hype?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain of that.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it seems that it's kind of the crown jewel. Yeah.
So how does Endgame end? Can you guys give me one word to describe the end?
Satisfying.
Satisfying?
I think a lot of times, look,
Another satisfied customer who has not yet seen the product.
In any, it's like when you watch like TV shows, when you have the final finale, how many times do they stick the landing? How many times do you walk away saying, I exactly wanted that to go the way I wanted it to go? This movie will really, I think they deliver. I think they really do stick the landing.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you for watching. Good night.